This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April.
Yeah.
It has been decades in the making.
Mm-hmm.
I am finally getting a chance
to
go to Disney World.
Yay!
I'm so excited. I've been trying for so long. And you know what? I fear it's going to suck.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's going to be the orange juice all over again. I just know it.
No, you're going to love it.
Anytime I ever get like super excited and everything seems to work out, it never works out. So
I'm just telling you right now, take your little backpack.
Yeah.
Of at least a water bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can refill it there. And then just little random snacks.
Yeah, but I want to eat the stuff there.
No, you will. You will. You will still buy stuff. The thing is that it's so expensive to continuously buy things. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Besides, your snacks are not going to go bad.
True.
You know?
I'm trying to decide what I want to eat because I've seen so many TikToks about all the best food.
Yeah.
And one thing I saw was a Mickey Mouse pretzel.
Ooh.
So I thought, okay, that's super popular.
Uh-huh.
They have the Dole Whip. I'm not interested. It's fine.
Don't worry. We're going to go back.
Okay.
Because I still need to see the Star Wars world.
True.
So.
They have a beignet that's in the shape of Mickey Mouse. They also have beignets that have alcohol. I'm probably not going to get those.
Okay.
But they have this like pasta stuff that's supposed to be super good, but it's like $34.
Do it.
And I'm like, I could get pasta anywhere. I could buy like 3 other things.
Listen,
for the cost of that one pasta.
When it comes to things that you want when you're on vacation, just do it. Because you're on vacation.
True, but I'm only going to have a few hours. Like, my plane doesn't get there until after 12. And so I won't even get to the park at the earliest till like 2. And I only have from 2 until like 9.
Well.
So I'm not going to have a lot of time.
You'll have more than 9 p.m.
Why?
Because they're open, I think, until 11.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't think you could stay till then.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, can you?
You totally can. And that is the best time to get in the lines that like you couldn't get into earlier. Okay, because I swear, I think I got on the most rides after this first parade.
Oh, okay.
Because I got trapped in the first parade. I couldn't cross. And then once it was over, I was literally running from like end to end. Like it was the best. And then I caught the second parade by accident.
Yeah.
So no, you could still get in rides.
Like a part of me is like, maybe I shouldn't go on Wednesday and I should have it for a different day and just do the whole day.
Listen. Just do it.
Well, I'm thinking if I don't know, maybe Friday would be the best. That was going to be the day I was going to go, was Friday. But it just, I don't know.
We are going to go again.
But it took me 39 years to get it here the first time. So, you know, I have a lot of decisions to make.
Okay. Just know that here in a few months, my schedule is going to be opening up. And you know I'm always down for like weekend trips.
True.
Okay.
True.
I am down.
All right. I'll keep you in mind.
Exactly. I have so many things planned for this year.
Oh, wow.
I do. I have a few trips.
Cool. I know one. Well, I know 2.
Yeah.
Where else are you going?
I'm definitely going to do Vegas because I've been trying to take my dad there forever. So I'm probably going to do that for my birthday because, you get a day off. And then there's 4th of July. And then I'll just ask for a day off to complete it. So that's for sure going to happen. Those 3 trips. And then probably one random one to Mexico.
Well, that'll be fun. So we say all this.
Yes.
To talk about our movie.
Yes.
What movie are we doing?
National Lampoon's Vacation, the first. The original. The OG.
I was totally thinking that. Yes, the original with Chevy Chase. Anthony Michael Hall.
The whole time I'm watching this, all I can think of is Chevy Chase and SNL. That's all I can think of.
All I can think is, man, Ryan Reynolds did a good job in impersonating him. They're very similar. And that's all I could think the whole time. So yes, this is the original Vacation. It came out in 1983.
Yep.
And it actually, so I thought of this movie because I'm going to Disney World and their whole, I've been trying for decades to go. And they try for 2 weeks to get to Wally World.
Yeah.
That's their location that they're trying to get to. And I thought, well, that's as close as I'm going to get to a movie about Disney. So it turns out that this actually was supposed to be Disneyland.
I figured.
Is where they were trying to go, but Disney said no. So it says that John Hughes' script was inspired by an actual or equally ill-fated family trip to Disneyland when he was 5 years old, which was what the National Lampoon's Vacation was about. And it says the Roy Wally was based on the combination of the brothers of Roy O. Disney and Walt Disney, as well as Roy's, oh my God, there's a lot of words, sorry. Roy's son, Roy Edward Disney, right down to the thin mustache. And it says the script originally called for Disneyland as the Griswolds' destination, but Disney objected, pointing out that they're open 365 days a year, which remained true until COVID. So, but that's why, it's very similar. And that's why that guy has that look.
Yeah, that look.
And so I thought, well, this is a perfect movie. And hopefully my trip is a lot less crazy. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
You're going to have so much fun. It's going to be fine.
Yeah. I'm excited. I already have my room. It's a suite.
Ooh.
So that's exciting. I didn't plan that. That just happened. And
see, the stars are already aligning.
Right?
You got points for your flight.
Yeah.
You got free tickets.
I did.
I think this is going to be fabulous.
It's going to be great. And my cancellation, my hotel room got canceled. So, because my credit card didn't know I was going on a trip and it was like, did you do this? And I was like, yeah, I did. And they're like, well, then you're going to have to redo it. And when I did it, it actually was cheaper. So I was like, well, hey, it's going great so far. So I'm just waiting for that shoe to drop.
Don't say that. Think positive.
I am positively waiting for a shoe to drop. I don't know what's maybe I'm going to shit my pants. I don't know.
I always think positively.
That's true.
Because I don't like jinxing stuff, you know? So I always think it'll be fine. I'm definitely the dad in this movie. That's my persona. He was so chill and just went with everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He was chill.
Up until the end when they didn't let him in.
Yeah. He had his moments.
He just went with everything. He always had a smile on his face. So yeah.
For some reason, while I was sitting there watching it, I was like, he's such a dad. He's doing a really good job at being a stereotypical, baggy jeans and white sneakers and, just like a dad. He was just missing a fanny pack. That's really all he was missing. But he was also that and what I picture Michael Scott being as a dad. Like his character, like that's how I feel like he would be. He says random facts that aren't true. And, you know, it just all that stuff. I was just like, he's so Michael Scott of dads.
When you said, but he's not right, all I could think about was that episode when Michael's like, yeah, China has 15 cities that have over 1 million people. And then him and Oscar get into that battle of the wits. And everybody's like, he's smarter than you. You lose.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that episode.
It's a good episode. So basically, you know, I'll give a synopsis of the movie, but it's pretty easy. The family decides to go on a road trip. Everybody pretty much wants to take a plane except for Clark Griswold. He wants to go on a old family fashion road trip.
It was horribly planned. First of all, he's driving the entire trip.
Yeah.
It's just,
My dad always drove. I mean, almost always. Every once in a while, my sister and my mom would, or, you know, my mom and dad would switch. But for the most part, yeah, my dad always drove. Even when he fell asleep.
It just felt unrealistic in today's age.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is in the 80s. Of course he drove.
I guess. I don't know. I felt like the computer they had that mapped out their little thing, it was too advanced for the time, I guess.
Well, which is weird is that he says, this is a triptych. He's like, come look at the triptych. And I was like, oh my God, I just got one of those for our trip in August. And, you know, obviously it's not a computer model, but yeah, it's very advanced. Well, and so as they're going on their journey, they have a lot of ups and downs. And they do finally make it to Wally World.
Yes.
But it is not what they think it's going to be.
No.
Because the park is closed.
Yeah. But then it ends up being even better, I think.
Right? They don't have to wait in line. You know, he who has a gun wields all the power. And they're just able to go to the front of the line in all the lines.
There is no line.
That's true.
They are the line.
But like, I don't even know what I was about to say. Just, it's so crazy. Why do they park so far away?
That is so dumb.
I know he said it so they can get out early, and that's such a dad thing to do.
No.
Really? That's how my dad would roll.
No, my dad, if we're parking far away, it's because we're parking under a tree.
Well, that's true too.
If not, we're going to get the closest parking spot possible.
Right? Like who closes a theme park in the summer?
I know. Like the whole thing, it doesn't make sense.
No. It really doesn't. So we have a very young Gene Levy in this movie. And Clark is trading in his wife's old car for a brand new Sportster, which we don't ever see what the car is. So we can't really tell. They know it's not the right car.
Yeah.
But the car that they were given doesn't seem like it's a new car. Like I think it was a refurbished lemon. And
I mean, it got them where they're going.
Barely sometimes.
But yeah, like it's obviously this movie is very unbelievable, right? But obviously some of those parts you have to allow for plot points.
Yeah.
But when it came to the car, I'm just like, okay, fine. They crushed it.
Yeah.
Right?
But they crushed it so quickly.
Yeah. But whatever. I'll allow that. Here's the thing. why didn't you just go to another car dealership and get another car? I'm already thinking lawsuits. I haven't signed any paperwork, right? But no. And here's the thing. I've actually had, I've been wanting a Toyota, and I want to get it during the Toyota-thon. That's been one of my dreams. Mm-hmm. So I actually, a few cars ago at this point, I did go to Toyota and I looked at it. Worst salesman I have ever seen. Ooh. I went in there and I already, because I shop online, I wanted to see a used car. Yeah. Because there were a lot of things I wanted that I just could not afford in a brand new car. Yeah. So I was like, if I go used, I can get everything I want. So I'm in there and I'm talking to him and he like disappears on me. Mm-hmm. And then he comes back and he tells me black or white. And I'm like, black? And he's like, ugh. And then he goes outside again and he leaves. And then he comes back with a black car. And he's like, let's test drive this car. And I'm like, this is not at all. Like he brings me a brand new car of the year, right? Yeah. And it's the base model, obviously. And here's the thing, that base model was only, I think, $2,000 or $3,000. Back when used cars were a lot less expensive, like any car was less expensive, that new car was $2,000 or $3,000 more than the used car I was, wanting to look at. Yeah. And, he's over here trying to sell me on this car. And I'm like, dude, I don't even want this. Like, it doesn't have a sunroof. I want a sunroof, And in the end, I just left and walked out. Like, I think he was talking, he started, like, when we were talking, he was like, oh, so what does your dad drive? I'm like, oh, he has a truck. What kind of truck? So I was like, like an F-150, blah, blah, blah. And so he's over here, like, already thinking of trying to sell my dad a car, and he's not even there, And I'm just like, dude, you should have just showed me the car I wanted to see and then told me afterwards, I can get you in a brand new car just for $2,000 or $3,000 more. That would have been an upsell. Yeah. But instead, I just left. And that's why I don't have a Toyota.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just think they can print money there at Toyota because so many people have a Toyota. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you, they're all a total loss all the damn time. Mm. You'll see. You'll see, April. You'll see. She works where I work now, so she'll see. But anyways, I had an experience when I went to go buy my car and they were like total bait and switch. And I was just like, okay, but that's not the car I want. And they're like, well, what kind of color do you want? Mm-hmm. I'm like, does it have this? Does it have that? And they're like, well, it has a pretty mirror. Like, what the? Do I look like I care if there's a mirror in the car? Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Just know your audience.
Yeah.
Like before, that was when I was driving a Standard before. So I could have driven any car on that lot and they were treating me like I had never seen a car before. And I was only going after the pretty red one. Mm-hmm. I don't even like red cars. I ended up buying a red car, but that's only because that's the car they had. Mm-hmm. They didn't have them in any other colors. But I didn't buy it from that place. I went to a completely different place.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with us, man.
I know. And that's probably why the last two cars I've gotten at the same dealership, because I really like them. Yeah. Like I've taken my dad with me, and because, like you read and you stuff, like one of the things is like,
read. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, like I've read sometimes that when you take a man with you, that they will ignore you and start talking to the man and start trying to sell to them. And like, that is actually why I have taken my dad with me to see, like, who are you? Because obviously I'm the one who's buying the car. Yeah. You're running my information. Yeah. Like, who are you going to talk to? And no, like, I'm the one who's talking. And so they talk to me.
Yeah.
And they have given me a Spanish speaker just so that, they will ask my dad, oh, did you have any questions? Like just to engage him, which I really appreciated. But they always their focus was always on the money, which was me.
Oh, that's nice.
And like when I went there, like the first time, again, I already knew what I wanted to look at.
Yeah.
And so then they got me exactly what I wanted. And the second time, I just literally told them things that I wanted my car to have, and they made it happen. So I've been very happy with my experience with that dealership. So,
one time my mom was taking my dad out for dinner. They went to Hawaii.
Ooh.
And, they left Susan and I home. So, whatever.
I would too. To ruin our vacation.
But they were in Hawaii and she took them out, and they were at a very expensive restaurant. Everything's expensive in Hawaii, but it was pretty
Sometimes
expensive.
you splurge. Yeah.
And so the whole entire time the waitress was talking to my dad, directing everything at my dad, not asking my mom if she wants another drink, not asking my mom what she wants to eat. None of that. Only talking to my dad. So when the bill came and it was time to do the tip and stuff, my mom, she didn't hold back. She did not give her a very good tip. Probably didn't even give her a tip at all. But I think she wrote down, next time, find out who's paying this bill before you ignore them. I'm pretty sure she wrote on the check.
The thing is it doesn't even matter who's paying for it. Yeah. You engage everyone. Yeah.
I guess she just thought, oh, he must be paying because they're here. Obviously.
Yep.
Nope. You didn't get a tip, bitch, because you didn't talk to my mom at all. So, so they go to fill up the car with gas. And
this has happened to me.
He couldn't find the gas tank. New cars, sometimes it's hard.
No. The first car I ever had, we're kids. As soon as we get to the gas station, we would run inside because we always pump gas at 7-Eleven, right? So we would go and run inside, get our candy, Slurpees or whatever. So we never, obviously gas got in the car, but we were not part of that interactions. Really? And so then, no. I've never pumped gas. And so then the first time I had to pump gas, it just so happens, I did not know this. This was probably the last one in the city, but we ended up at a full service gas station. Because again, I hate pumping gas. So I just happened to be needing gas at this gas station. It wasn't my 7-Eleven, which thank God, right? So we stop and we pull over, and it turns out, I guess, I can't remember if they were busy or maybe he was busy or something, but we parked, and me and my friend, we were just like, where is the gas tank? And we are looking for it. We cannot find it. And then a guy comes and he lifts up the license plate, and we're like, oh, and he starts trying to pump the gas. And I'm like, who is this guy? Obviously he works there, and I'm like, oh my God, he must think we're idiots, and I didn't know that it was full service, so then he starts pumping the gas, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, okay, he's really nice, Anyways, after that, I just kept going to that gas station because they would pump my gas.
Do you know there's certain states that's all they have?
New Jersey.
Yeah, I think it was Ohio too. And then they got rid of it, and people were just like, we don't know how to pump our own gas. A whole bunch of people never done it.
What's interesting is that they pump your gas in Mexico too.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if it's every gas station or just happens to be the gas stations that we ended up at.
Yeah.
But we were in a rental car, and we didn't know where the gas tank was. We didn't know how to open it because, sometimes they have levers. Yeah. And so then we have to tell him we don't know where it is. So we basically, my cousin was driving. She had to get out of the car, and she's just looking, and the dude, I don't know, he opens it somehow and pumps the gas. So
my grandma didn't pump her gas until my grandpa passed away. And then she was like, oh, I guess I need to get gas. I don't know. He did it the whole entire time they were married. She had her own car, but he would take it to the gas station and get her gas filled for her. And so now my uncle had to do it for a long time, but now she doesn't like to drive, so she doesn't worry about it. But I've been, like, we would always help my dad. Like, I'd get out of the car and I would help him pump the gas.
But that wouldn't give you enough time to make candy selections or decide Slurpees.
We didn't get to do that.
What?
We only got to get snacks and stuff at gas stations if we were on a trip.
Really? No. If it we always wanted to go with you. Like, oh, you're gonna put gas? We'll go with you. Like, as soon as the car parked, we would run out of the car and start making our candy selections, our Slurpee selections, and wait for our dad to come so that he could pay for all of our crap.
Wow. Nope. That was not our life.
Oh, it was ours. We didn't have much, but we had snacks. All of our money went to snacks.
So they drive by the St. Louis Arch. I've been in the Arch.
I've seen it, been there, but not like at, I've been in the city.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could go in it until very recently, I believe.
Yeah, I've been there twice. I mean, okay. I might have been there several times as a kid because my grandparents live in Missouri. But we didn't go that far into Kansas much. But I know I've been there twice for sure. Once, the summer before, we went when I was in high school. And then I went that next fall in high school for a marching band competition. But we didn't go in the Arch that time. But I did with my family. And the pods are very small. And you get up top and you can feel it kind of swaying. So it's kind of crazy. But you get like a pretty good view. I have photos that I took while I was in there.
Cute.
So that's fun. So as they're driving and it's getting dark, his wife is snuggling in on his arm, and you were like, no, what if they get in an accident? She's not wearing a seatbelt.
Oh my gosh. I was just like, obviously we drive so fast now.
Yeah.
I would just not feel comfortable being in a car without a seatbelt.
Well, and then she doubled down and he's like, hey, why don't you
just lay down on my lap?
Yeah. And she's like, I know what you're doing. He's like, no, seriously, just lay down, take a little nap. And then he lifts up the steering wheel and then she gets her head stuck and she's like, this is gross, Clark. Like, stop it. I know what you're doing.
I saw a thing where this husband got caught cheating on his wife because he ran a red light and the camera took pictures and you could see like hair in his lap and then you didn't see a head in his lap.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is odd because usually the pictures, well, maybe she went online because I know usually it's just a picture from the back.
Yeah, from your license plate.
Whatever, this one caught it in the front. Or maybe the person saw it and did it intentionally. Like, oh, I'm going to send this to the wife.
Maybe.
I know I would.
I was going to say, if you worked there, would you do that?
I would do that. Be like, I'm supposed to send a proof. I'm going to send this as proof.
I can either do the front or the back. Which one will be better?
And be like, I don't know who that person is, but I'm gonna just, put that out there and see if anything comes from it.
I saw a TikTok sometime last year. I'm sure it was right after Valentine's Day, but it was a girl who worked at a jewelry store and a guy came in for his wife, but also for his girlfriend.
Oh, I've heard these.
And she like mixed up the jewelry on purpose.
Uh-huh.
And so that was
Did it say something like to my wife? Or?
I think because there was a note attached.
Oh.
So I think it was something like that. I can't quite remember. But if I worked there, I kind of feel like I'd want to do that too. Or at least send a note, be like, oh, your husband's cheating on you.
I wouldn't go that far, but an innocent mistake.
Yeah.
I know I've seen some stories where this person, like the hotel, like stories from the hotels, and they were like, this person comes to this hotel fairly regularly, and then one day shows up with like the wife for like their anniversary, and
welcome back, Steve.
Yeah, one person said that. One person's like, oh, welcome back, Steve. And then he's like, oh, I'm here for my anniversary. He's like, oh, you brought your wife this time? Like totally innocent. Like,
no, you knew what you were doing if you say that.
Well, I mean, I don't know who the other people are.
Like, that's just so gross now.
You could go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't get why people cheat.
I don't understand.
Especially when there's divorce exists.
Yeah. For a reason.
Okay.
Like, okay. We're going to get off tangent because I need to
honestly, this wife put up with a lot.
She really did.
Yeah.
She really
Especially at the end. Well, okay.
Well, I mean, when it's Christy Brinkley, like, can you blame him?
Yeah, but like, listen, the little flirting in the different cars, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But she starts skinny dipping, and then you take off your clothes and jump in the pool with her.
Yeah.
What is a wife supposed to think about that?
Right. Well, she's just a pool waitress, April.
I mean, and then she's like, yeah, I'm going to work too. Work on what? As far as I know, she had no flaws. It would have been different if they had shown flaws for her or mentioned her flaws. But honestly, she puts up with a lot, and then later when like he basically takes everybody hostage,
Yeah.
I love when John Candy's like, has your father ever killed anyone? And the son, Rusty, he's like, well, he killed a dog. Oh, and then Aunt Ruth or whoever. Aunt Edna.
And he's like, that hasn't been proven. There's a lot of actually funny quotes in this movie.
Yeah.
One of them that I really like is when we meet Cousin Eddie.
Oh.
And they're basically like hillbillies or rednecks.
Yeah.
Low class trailer trash, whatever. And his daughter, Vicky, is on the seesaw. Yeah. With his daughter. And she's like, I French kiss. And she goes, so everybody does that. And she goes, yeah, but my pa says I'm the best.
I know. I was just like, what does that mean? Like, did your dad witness it or did he partake? Like,
like I've seen this movie so many times and I didn't realize that's Jane Kronowski, whatever. She's from a lot of different shows. Most recently that I can think of is she was in 30 Rock, and she was also in Kimmy Schmidt, and she's hilarious. But I didn't realize that was her as a kid. I was like, oh my God. Like I finally saw it this time, and I was like, oh my God, is that who I think it is? And it was. And then one of my other favorite quotes is, we aren't really violent people. This is our first gun.
Yeah.
That's what the wife says to
reassure the security guard.
To John Candy. Let's see here. Oh, so they go to a hotel and they're on a vibrating bed. I always wanted to try a vibrating bed, and I think it's because of this movie. Like I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that'd be so much fun. And I think I had tried one.
I for sure have.
It wasn't great.
I remember I was a kid with our parents, and we were apparently staying in either a shitty motel and or just an unrenovated one from the 70s. But I remember I was young, and it had a little dial and it had a thing, and it asked to put in a quarter. And I remember asking for a quarter, and your parents don't think, they just give it to you, right? And so I got the quarter or 50 cents or whatever, right? And we put it in there, and me and my brother were like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then my parents, I don't know what happened, right? But we obviously were in the vibrating bed thinking it was like the best thing ever. And then when it stopped, we're like, give us more quarters. They're like, no, it makes too much noise. And they ruined our fun. And then I guess we went to sleep.
Yeah.
But I remember it being very noisy. And I remember thinking, how do people sleep with this noise?
Yeah, but it doesn't last very long.
I don't remember. Well, obviously this is a movie.
Yes.
Right. I don't remember how long it lasts as a kid. I just remember that we only got one ride out of the bed.
I just okay. I kind of understand the purpose of it.
Yeah.
But
it's the motion in the ocean.
It's it doesn't last very long. So
well, maybe it's like a dryer. The more quarters you add, the longer it keeps going.
Maybe
I don't know. I don't know. They wouldn't give me more money, and I probably wouldn't have remembered. I just remembered. I thought that was the greatest bed.
It's true. So we meet Aunt Edna, and she's a crotchety old bag.
Yeah.
And she has a dog.
Yeah.
And
he likes to bite.
Yes. Especially Clark.
Just about anybody.
And the dog pees on their lunch. So they're eating wet sandwiches. And but Edna, she just keeps on eating it.
I mean, they had plastic on them. Maybe she got one on the very top or on the side.
I don't know.
I would not no. I would have noticed something before that point.
Right.
Maybe pulling them out. So, but yeah.
It's very weird. But then she dies.
Yeah.
You called it.
Yeah, she's been dead.
Yeah.
They just kept pushing her around.
No, she's been leaning on me too much. Keep pushing her back and forth. Yeah. Would your brother and you have done that?
The thing is rigor mortis would have set, But obviously it's a movie.
Yeah.
I don't think, first of all, we would have never been in a situation where we were with somebody we disliked or found annoying for that long in a vehicle without them being annoying. You know what I mean? Yeah. If they're annoying, they're going to be annoying.
Yeah. I don't know. If we were on a trip and the person died, we'd probably
notice.
Well, that, and also we would take her to the hospital or the police station.
First of all, they discovered it at the Grand Canyons.
Yes.
I would have probably gone to the little Forest Park Ranger station.
Yeah.
And, dropped her off.
You wouldn't have said anything to anybody?
No, be oh my gosh, she died.
Okay. Now, would you have wanted to sit next to a dead body?
No. Okay, so.
Do you think your dad would put her on the roof?
No. Okay, first of all, it's the Grand Canyons. There's plenty of people there.
Yeah.
You just wait for someone else to show up and get them to go get help. But like we're all getting out of the car and we're not going back in that car.
Yeah.
Until paramedics come and like get her out of the car and then probably get the car detailed. Like,
right?
I feel like definitely the trip would have ended.
Yes.
Like for sure.
100%.
But yeah, probably fly back home and just sell that car. It's a cursed car.
It really is.
Everything started going bad the minute that car showed up in their life.
Gene Levy.
Yeah, because think about it. His car didn't get crushed until the moment he saw that ugly green car.
Uh-huh. Now, it looks like the kind of station wagon that had the chairs in the back. Why didn't they just put her in the back?
I mean, maybe that's not the model they got.
Maybe.
I don't know. But like that poor woman, she lost her dog and then she lost her life. But you know, one thing she didn't lose? That purse.
Yeah, she still had her purse.
Like even when they tied her up to the roof, she still had her purse.
Now, okay, you foreseen that she was dead, but did you think they were going to put her on the roof?
I thought they were just going to stick her in the back. You know? And then when they stuck her on the roof, I honestly thought like they were going to just lay her down flat. But no, they put her like like Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes, exactly. For some reason, it must be because of that show or movie that I thought she was in a chair when she was on the roof, but it must have been because of Beverly Hillbillies. So one part, we had to stop and talk about it during the movie. So we've seen this movie a lot.
Yeah.
And we've been to like mountains where we've like got out of the car to look over the
horizon.
And we've done that very thing where we're like, okay, let's go. And it's like a family joke because, you know, we've seen this movie. But anytime we go and do that, that's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
And then we laugh.
What it reminded me of is when we were crossing the Mississippi, we went to the Waffle House and it was like the parking lot was right there facing the Mississippi and like the bridge. And I remember Raul was like, okay, stand there. We're going to take pictures. And I'm like, okay, I was not in the picture, but I took a picture of the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now whenever I go through my phone and I come across that picture, I'm like, this is so dumb. I wish I was in the picture, but I'm okay with knowing the memory of like, I knew it was going to be a dumb picture. So I was like, I don't want to be in this dumb picture.
It's true.
So,
but you and I both grew up going on road trips with our family.
Like you went places. I went to the same place over and over again.
So did we. Oh. We mostly went to my grandparents in Missouri or my grandparents here. So it was either to Missouri or Texas.
Yeah.
We went on a few other trips. Sometimes we go to Alabama. But we'd come here first. And then one time we went to South Dakota. One time we went to Tennessee. That was, I don't know if that was on our way to Alabama or why we were going to Tennessee, but we went to Tennessee. And then one time we went to Wyoming, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, because my mom or dad won a free trip, a free stay at one of their cabins, and we went there. But we drove every single time. I'd only been on a plane once or twice as a kid, and that was it. Every other time we always drove.
See, I didn't get on a plane until I was an adult too, because everywhere we went was just basically here in Texas.
Yeah.
So
that's why, like, I may sound like an asshole, but I wish they had a plane for just adults, that there's no kids. Because I'm just, there's no reason for kids to travel like that. Go on a road trip. That's how we did it. That's how it should be done.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me. Like, I've never been on a plane with a crying baby.
Oh, really?
No. So I've never been on a plane with like bad kids.
Yeah.
Like I've lucked out where there's kids there, but they don't bother me. I don't bother them.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have earphones and I haven't been on a plane I haven't gone overseas, 10 hours. That might be different.
My parents did. It was either on their way to England or their way back here to the States. But a girl on the plane, she was like a little kid, threw up the entire trip. The entire time. They had to get her a trash bag. She just kept throwing up. And I was like, I couldn't handle that. That's not for me.
Yeah.
But I just think that, like, you know how they have family cruises, they should have family airlines. So people with kids, they can all be on, it can be fun and have cool movies and things for kids to do.
It's not economical.
It should be. I think a lot of adults that are like me who are traveling by themselves or with other adults would love to be on an adult-only plane.
Here's the thing. That only works for certain destinations.
True.
I actually saw a thing on YouTube where they were like, airplanes make the most money out of first class and business. The rest of it, that's just filler.
Yeah.
That's profit. But they make their money from the first 10 rows or whatever.
I really, really wanted to travel first class on my way to Florida, but I didn't. But I really wanted to.
You should have just done it.
Yeah, but it was my grandpa's points, not my points.
Oh, he wouldn't have noticed. He's not going anywhere.
Well, there was like a 50,000 point difference between regular and first class.
You couldn't pay the difference?
I don't know if I could have. So it's on the special website.
You can still upgrade it.
True. I have thought about that. I don't think there was any spots left. Or maybe it was just blocked off because I didn't have that kind of ticket. Don't really know. I might see when I get on the plane. But anywho, any hoozle bees. We already talked about that. Oh, so the whole entire time, his whole family is like, we should just go home. We should have just gone to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. And he just powers through. He's like, no, we set this journey. We are going to finish. And they don't want to.
Yeah.
Would you have cut and run?
2 weeks on the road. I don't think with certain people.
Yeah.
I could. But it's different when you're a group and you're making group decisions. But if your father is making all of the decisions, I don't think I would want to be on a road trip for 2 weeks where I have no say.
Yeah.
So no.
Like, no, we're gonna just abandon you and go
Not
get a
2 weeks.
hotel or
we're not even doing
airport.
stuff the other people want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's what we did when we went to South Dakota. From Nebraska to South Dakota, my mom would be like, okay, if we see something that you want to go to, we'll pull over and we'll go to it. So we went to a doll museum because I wanted to do that. My dad and my sister went to a car museum because they wanted to do that. We kept seeing things for the Wall of Drug. We'd never been there, so we went to that. We saw things for the fabulous Corn Palace. I mean, who doesn't want to go to a Corn Palace?
I mean, you got to see what it's about.
Exactly. So we went there. Like, whatever place we wanted to go and we saw, we got to go to.
Yeah. So that makes it interactive.
Exactly. It was a lot of fun. Same with... We went to Graceland.
Oh, I've been there too.
And we went to like places around that area. And then I'm trying to think, like, that's my parents would be like, okay, you know, this is the one time we're going on a trip this year. So we're going to go do all these stupid touristy things. And we had fun.
Yay.
Let's see here. So when they finally get to Wally World, It's closed. And so they go, he meets John Candy's character. He's a security guard. And he steals the show.
Yeah.
He was paid $1 million for that. Just $1
million.
Because they, so, you know, you've seen Christmas Vacation, right?
Yeah. No.
No? Well, I don't want to spoil it, but the thing that happens at the end of that movie was actually supposed to happen at the end of this movie. But they didn't do it. Test audiences didn't like it. So they changed it and had him, Mr. Wally World, come and meet them at the park. And so they had to do reshoots. And so that's why they got John Candy to come in and do just that part. So that's fun. But my only question is, who's starting these rides?
I'm assuming since they're being repaired, that maybe there's repair people around. And, you know, like if you have my coworker hostage and you're like, turn on the ride, I'm going to turn on the ride.
That's true.
You know?
I love how he's like, I've always thrown up when I've gone on these rides. And he's like, I had the best time.
I love your park.
This is the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah, that was nice.
So, you know, he was on their side. And I like that. They all almost get arrested.
Yeah.
But Mr. Wally World, he has a heart. And he hears...
He has 7 kids or something.
Yeah. He hears Clark Griswold out and just knows that he's a dad just doing his best.
Yep.
And then don't get arrested.
Yay.
And then him and all the cops and the whole family go on the last roller coaster again. And
what I don't think they showed a picture of him with Mr. Wally World, right? Because I feel like you need that picture. Like
I might have turned it off before that happened. But they did have him on the ride.
Yeah, but you can bear it. Like anybody could be like, sure, that's him, you know?
So they had to ride that ride a lot to get all the people. So they kept going around and around and around, and they were getting nauseous and sick the whole entire time. Like Anthony Michael Hall, the faces that he was making, the terror, he was really like terror, scared.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Oh, so I meant to say this. Aunt Edna, there was a scene when she's in the attached to the roof. You're supposed to see her fingers move to show that she was actually alive.
I missed it.
But they cut it out. Because then they were like, you can't put a live person up on the roof like that. That's just wrong. A dead person's okay.
Oh, of
but
course.
It's wrong to do a living human being.
Now I know the rules.
Yeah. And then the part where...
So when I get pulled over and be like, sir, she's dead.
It's okay.
What's the problem? Okay. She's already dead.
Like, this movie could not happen today.
Oh, no.
I mean, they did remake this movie. Obviously, they had to change some stuff because that wouldn't be allowed.
PC.
Yeah. But the part with the dog.
Oh.
So when they're talking, him and the cop are talking. He's making all these faces because him and the other guy are trying not to break because they were laughing so hard. And so that's why he's like making all these weird faces. That was him trying to be serious, but it wasn't working. And you can kind of see him almost break, but he doesn't.
Good for him. He made it through.
Right. Let's see here. Okay, so in all the other movies, Audrey is the oldest daughter. But in this movie, because they had to do that scene at the end 4 months later after they wrapped, Anthony Michael Hall was actually taller. And like partway through the filming, he had grown as well. And so he started off the same height, and then he was taller than both the sister and the mom. And so they made him the older sibling. But in all the other reincarnations of this movie, he's the younger brother and Audrey's older. And then when he was testing for the movie, they said an only note was that he needed to keep his braces. So that's why he has braces in the movie. Let's see here. Oh, so Clark and Ellen singing during the road trip wasn't part of the original script. It was Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo ending up singing to pass the time, and they decided to keep it as part of their character. So I thought that was kind of cool, because that's why the radio wasn't on. We were just like, why is the radio not on? And that's why. And I love that the kids like interacted with it as well.
Until it's like, okay, we're over this now. Yeah. We brought our own tunes.
Exactly.
Which is exactly how I remember it. You know?
Yeah.
Me and my brother, we each had our own little Walkman or CD player. And like, we would fall asleep or listen to our music. And we were not part of the conversation.
Right.
So
there was a lot of times that I would have my headphones on, but I wouldn't have my CD player on, just so I could hear if they were talking about me.
I don't really care if they were. Like, I don't care.
I didn't do it all the time, but sometimes I'd sit there and be like, what are they saying? What are they talking about?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I honestly do not care.
That's because your brain was thinking about everything else in the world.
I have so many things to think about. Okay. Like, what was it? What was I thinking about? Oh, okay. So today I was thinking about, why are there no slow birds? Think about it. Like, you have slow animals like snails or like a lemur, but there's no slow birds.
Penguins.
Those don't fly, like flying ones.
Turkeys.
I guess chickens can kind of leap, fly. No, but I'm talking about like a slow flying, you know? Anyways, that's
I thought you meant, like, I pictured walking, and I was like, they're all very slow.
A slow flying bird.
I feel like an owl would be kind of, they just
no way.
glide.
It's a predator. Okay, it's a predator.
It can be fast, but I feel like they're just kind of like
a naturally slow bird. Why does it not exist?
I don't know. Riveting conversation.
I mean, these are the thoughts that run through my head. This was today's thought of the day.
So when you were in the back of a car, were you the kind that slept? Were you the kind that read? Did you work on activities?
I would either sleep or listen to my music with my eyes closed.
You wouldn't do anything else?
No.
So one time my mom, when we were going on a trip, I think we were going to a reunion, and we ended up going somewhere that had a beach. And so she got us these like beach bags. They were like these really tall bags, and it was full of like different things. So it would have like coloring books and crayons and little like tic-tac-toe games, things that were like magnetic, you know, so you wouldn't lose the pieces, stuff like that. And ever since then, I don't know if I did this prior to that, but after that, I would take that bag anytime we'd have a trip, and I would just pack it with stuff to do. I always had to have a bag of stuff to do because I get bored very easily. And so I would have a book, and I would have a magazine, and I would have crayons, colors, pens, pencils, paper.
No, I honestly don't even need anything. Like, I've had this conversation with you before. Like, even if you take my phone away and my music, I would be fine. Like, just literally stick me. Like, you can lock me up in a closet. I'm not going to get claustrophobic. I'm just going to be like, okay, cool. I'm just going to go to sleep, or I'm just going to lay here and think and just let my imagination roam. Like, I've got so much going on up here that I don't need anything else. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I say that to say this, and then I would just fall asleep. So I'd bring all my stuff because I have to have stuff. And I would start out doing well. And then eventually I would just fall asleep. Or I'd always want to play with my Game Boy or whatever when it was dark. And then you couldn't see. And then, you know, how your parents lie and tell you can't have lights on in the car because it's illegal. It's not.
Yeah. That's the oldest one.
I remember there would be times that I would wait for the light, like for us to drive under a light. And I'm like, oh. But this is all I have on this movie.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed our commentary on our trips that we've been on.
Yeah.
Let us, email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com and give us your fun stories of road trips with your family. Did things go wrong? Did things go right? Did you have to tie a loved one to the roof? Any of those things, let us know. twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com.
We also have a TikTok, Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And we have Facebook, Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And an Instagram, Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And April, if you had to rate this movie, what would you rate it?
I would rate this a 3 out of 10. She's only got 11 cents.
A 3?
I wouldn't watch it again.
A 3?
I don't have childhood memories attached to this. No nostalgia. I've never seen this movie before. I've seen clips. Like I know the part where he punches the moose.
Yeah.
And I think I thought it was like Bullwinkle, So, yeah.
Well, I would rate it a 7 out of 10 Clarks. So, judge how you will, folks. I think you should see the movie because it's a classic. But, some fuddy-duddies in the room wouldn't want you to.
I've seen it, and now I don't need to re-see it.
All right. Well, comment, likes, rate us, review us.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Send us an email.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, until next time.
Toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Girvani. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.